Hi, welcome to the Animal Intuitive Show. Tonight I'm going to be following up on a couple of conversations that I've had over the past few weeks with some viewer pets. There's some interesting new information, and I actually feel like one of those topics would be great for a little mini teaching lesson that we're going to do tonight. Come on, all you doggies, won't you walk with me? I'm the puppet dog. Okay, so hold on, let me put myself back to the center if I can here. There we go. Can you guys hear me okay? For some reason I can't hear myself, so that always confuses me a little bit when I don't hear myself. um, so this is the Animal Intuitive Show. I'm Angelo Webb, the Animal Intuitive. And welcome everyone here tonight. Oh, Mel Mac, you got a different little icon thing. I like it. I like that little bee guy with the colors. Um, but let me know if you guys can or cannot hear me. I just want to make sure you can all hear me. I'm assuming you can because no one's freaking out and saying we can't hear you. Uh, so, hi, Good Night Owl 2. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I really appreciate everybody who stops by the show and watches the replay too. It's a little low. Okay. Let me see if I can increase that. It might be this microphone might need. Is that any better? A little bit better. Okay. Um, audio is faint. Okay, let me try something else here. There's one other place I can mess with it and make it go a little bit louder, I think. In the meantime, I'm going to be, well, first of all, for those of you who are new here, this is the Animal Intuitive Show. And okay, so you turned it up. Okay. I'm actually having trouble finding that little thing for some reason. Oh, there's my sound. Okay. So here on the Animal Intuitive Show, we give animals a voice through animal communication, uh, holistic pet care, and also we do interviews with experts in the fields of animal care and advocacy. And I wonder if that might have been the problem. I wonder if that help a little bit with the volume. Yeah, that might have done it. Okay. So, yeah, so tonight I'm so glad Melmac and Goodnight Owl, thank you so much for letting me know about the audio. And um, before I get started, I just want to mention that we're about a week away from a new course that I am launching. It's animal communication, acupressure, and mindfulness for you and your pets. And I'll have a link in the description where you can go there. But right now, just for the next week, it's going to be at 50% off, which is a huge discount, and it is going to go up to a normal price after that. So, it's a good time to take advantage of that. This course is not, it is an intro course, but even though it's an intro course, it's packed with, it's like a level one, but people can come to it live next Saturday and the Saturday after. So it's the 17th and 24th at this point. But if you're watching this later, you can download this course. All the modules are, available to, you can download them, you can have them forever. And it's an intro level course into animal communication, but I'm also incorporating acupressure into it. And at the same time, I really wanted to make this kind of like a little mini retreat for you and your pets. So I really went back to my counseling roots. I'm a licensed counselor, licensed clinical social worker. And I used a lot of the techniques that, if you come from like the perspective of let's get grounded, which matches up with animal communication, is that in life, we kind of get in our heads and we get kind of going all over the place. And I incorporated a lot of information and ways for us to really get kind of back into our bodies centered and really helping you to focus in on being able to communicate with animals. There's a lot to it, and The course is offered up right now through, you can either go to just go to the link in the description, or if you want to go to animalintuitiveacademy.podia.com. For now, I'm putting it up on the Podia, or whatever it's called, Podia or Podia, teaching site. They have all sorts of classes. You can also access it by going, to my Intuitive Touch Animal Care website, intuitivetouchanimalcare.com, and you can find the page there for courses, and it'll click on that and go there. So I just wanted to mention that because that is 50% off right now, and you will learn a ton, and you will have all these materials. You'll have charts that you can download. You're going to have meditations that you can download. You're going to have videos of me demonstrating the acupressure points on animals that you can download, and there's just a lot of information. I did not skimp in this, so this is not like one of those little things where it's like, oh, learn animal communication, and it's like a, skimpy little course. You're really going to get a good foundation, and you can use this towards your animal communicator professional certification if you're interested in that through the Animal Intuitive Academy, because I have other levels above that. So that being said, excuse me. I'm seeing people talk about some things here, and I just want to catch up into the chat. Hi, Carol. Good to see you here. Oh, thank you for letting me know you could hear me. I'm so excited that you're coming. Good night, Owl. That's awesome. And I don't know, you guys are talking about juniper trees. I kind of not sure what that's all about, but so yes, okay, so you watched the replay of last week, Good Night Owl, and you got to see yeah, you can go to my community page, but also this video will have the link in the description too. I think it does already. Thank you, Melmac. Yeah, we talked to Goodnight Owl's Joe last week, if you ever want to go back and watch that. So what I was saying before is that I spoke with Carol's dog, actually, Angel, previously. And Angel, let's see if I can get Angel's. Whoops, that's the wrong one, but we're getting to Lincoln in a little bit, actually. Lots of dogs. Yay, dogs. Angel, come on up. Well, I can see it. Why isn't that coming up? Oh, Pam, for some reason. Oh, you know what? Pam's trying to jump in. Oh, because she's probably smart and she's not in the chat, because that let me hop to Pam, because she is trying to get into, I told her I was going to follow up with her dog's thing that's going on, and then I'm going to go back to Lincoln. And I mean, I'm sorry, Angel. So this is Lincoln. Pam, I don't know how to tell her to come in. Let me see. I don't even know how she's coming in through the studio. I don't even know how she's doing that. She did something really interesting to get in. Well, we'll see what happens there. Okay, so I don't know what to do. I'm going to tell her if she comes in that we're going to go to Angel. If anybody could do me a favor, if you see Pam and Pamela in the chat, tell her that. Oh, thank you, Melmac. You know what? Let me make sure that link didn't update too. Thank you. You know what? It did. From the one that was on there last week. I think it is a different one. Try it. If you're seeing that, Pamela, you can use that. But if you are hearing me, I'm going to go into a little bit of a lesson that has to do with Angel, who for some reason his picture is not coming up. There she is. Okay. So Carol's dog, Angel, I had Angel, or we talked to Angel a few weeks back. And I had let Carol know that one of the things that came up for me was this image of, Carol had mentioned a few things in the comments. If you want to go back and watch the episode with Angel, that she was saying some things that came up made sense with Angel loving lakes and loving to be by the lake, and also there's a hot air balloon thing that made sense to her. But I had also mentioned this little blonde boy, and I just said, this is what we do with animal communication, and this is kind of like tiny little mini lesson here. Sorry, my light's flashing. We give everything we get as animal communicators, and this is a big part of like the teaching, especially that first level excuse me, is getting to the point where you just say what you get and you don't question it, because it might mean something to the person that you're giving the information to, even if it doesn't make any sense at all to you. So in this conversation, oh no, guys, I'm so sorry. I have this large cat that's usually here, and she's over there by the wires, and I don't trust her. Hold on. Oh no. Where'd she go? There she is. I'll be right there. I have to get her away from the lights. This is so Gia, the cat. Come here. You know what? I know what she's looking for. Here, yeah, that's a good idea. No. Right up there. She's looking for SNACKs, I think, because I gave the animal some before I started. And I don't have any with me right here. Anyway, so and I'm sorry, my light is flashing. There's something going on with the wire. Hopefully it won't do that too much. So everything that I get, I give. So in this example, I gave Carol this information that I was seeing this like little boy, and I didn't exactly know what it meant. So she wrote to me that she didn't either. And then she followed that up though, a little bit while later, like maybe, I don't even know if it might have been like a week later. And she said that, her neighbor had brought her grandson, I think it was, or all of a sudden this like little boy showed up, like a little blonde boy. And I want to say it was like a week later. I don't think it was that weekend after we spoke. So she said, could this be? Could Angel have like known that this little boy was coming? And so what I would say to that is that some things I don't even completely understand happen with animal communication somewhat frequently. It's not always, but like for instance, I will have things happen where an animal will say to me, like when somebody asks if I think that their pet is saying that they want a sibling, like they want another puppy or a cat coming into their life or whatever. And I'll ask them that, and then I'll see an image of like a, let's just say like a white small dog. And they're like, oh, okay, I don't know what that is. But I give that information to the person now because I will have it happen that down the road they'll write me back and say, look who we adopted. And I do tell people also, to keep in mind that don't say, okay, and mention this dog. And so we will, if we fall in love with a gray dog, that we're just going to, sorry, she's doing like a full on bath on camera here. There's no shame. So that, you don't want to exclude anything because of that. And that's the important thing. I'm so sorry. This light is like, every time I move, it flashes. It's because the wire's off. It has something to do with somebody. We don't ever want to exclude information because just because we see a vision of something, or a visual of something, I should say. Now, rarely, sometimes something will be very solid when it's the future. Sometimes I'll get information and be like, really just feel strongly that this is a thing that's really coming to you. But I'm very cautious about that. because this is really bad. I'm so sorry because it keeps flashing, right? Um, tell me if that light is really distracting. I know, right? There's a there's a poltergeist in the light. Yeah, so yeah, Carol's in the chat and she's the one that I'm talking about. So she's saying it happened just like you said, a little blonde boy playing on the lawn blowing bubbles. So did I say blowing bubbles? I that would be really cool. I gotta say, if I said blowing bubbles, but were you just saying that that's what he was doing? I don't remember if I said that. um, so yeah, so don't ever think that something that if information comes across from an animal communicator or you're getting it, and it seems like it's something about either something you don't know, always say it or write it down. Like if you're talking for yourself, just jot it down and come back to it. I always really encourage people to, especially, when they're practicing, to write stuff down because it's really neat to come back to it. I found notebooks from like when I was training 17 years ago. And I was really like, wow, this is so cool. Like some of this stuff is just standing out to me. Like it was really on point and it's encouraging. So I would really advise you to do that if you're doing that for yourself. And then if you're talking to someone else, just give them the information and say, this is information I'm getting. I'm not sure what it means, but it's coming up. So I'm trusting that I'm meant to say it. So that is, and does it come from, where is that coming from? So I was talking to Angel and that image came across. So I don't really know. I really kind of don't think it's like Angel was seeing that in the future and so she was telling me about it. I think of it more like a universal connection. And there's just some things that we cannot completely see. It's not so tangible, but it's like the Matrix, essentially. I don't really know how else to put it. And that somehow I'm tapping into that. And being that I've kind of gotten myself into the, meditative state before I do this and I'm connecting in, then I'm more open to it. And things are just clearer because that's what I'm that part of my brain and my energy and all that is activated. So yeah, so exactly. It may not be something you're saying good night owl that we immediately understand, but it's something that our pet family members are trying to convey. So sometimes, yeah, it's definitely something. So you're asking, Carol, is it something in her past before I met her? Well, that's an interesting point. Because I didn't ask her that when I was speaking with her. I can see what she says. Let's see. Carol, did I say he was blowing bubbles, or were you just saying that that's what he was doing? Because that would make a difference to me, like immediately, if I said that and he was blowing bubbles. I always feel weird with that. I thought I put my earrings in, I didn't. I feel like naked without earrings. I don't know why. It's weird, right? Well, let us know, Carol, if I had said he was blowing bubbles. In the meantime, let me see if there's anything else Angel has to say. She brings up the quill thing because Angel got porcupine quills the day that I spoke with her. She got stuck. She says that it's like she says it's like itching a little bit, like where the quills, I guess cuz it's healing. I'm hearing like rash or something, so just be aware of that. Keep an eye and see if she's uncomfortable at all. Maybe there's something you could use. I'm not a vet. I can't diagnose or treat, but some things that you could look into for yourself might be. You could ask your vet if there's anything, just to calm the irritation, but holistically, maybe something like um, a calming essential oil or some kind of aloe blend that's safe for pets. Okay, so I did not say blowing bubbles, but running around playing, and he was doing that and blowing bubbles. Okay. Um. All right. So let me see if this was a boy from Angel's past. And by the way, if you're new here, fast forward if you don't want to have silence. And if this is interesting to you, please like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. I don't feel a connection. That's what it is. Like I don't feel like a heart connection with this boy. I feel like this is something that was coming. Let me see if there's some like importance to it that I missed that we didn't go into. What I'm picking up about that is something about this. Again, this doesn't make sense. I'm just going to say it. I'm seeing like sneakers, like little boy like sneakers on the ground. And there's a connection there to like that's important. There's something about the connection to the earth um and the benefit of it. And there's something like inspiring. And so this is going to sound really like out there a little bit, but I'm just going to say it. So it's like he's like running and it's meaningful because it's the connection to the earth and like kicking up the dirt and connecting to it. And she feels like that relates to her. It feels like, I'm having a vague memory of when I spoke with Angel that there was something about her. Yeah, like definitely. She, really likes the outdoors and likes to, I remember that. Feels like she um valued values it, and so there was some kind of connection going on between her and this upcoming event because it's like oh yeah, I could, really like that, like playing with someone like that that's into doing stuff like that, like just kind of like stomping around and jumping in the dirt. Um, so it's just a connection. That's all I can. That's the no other way for me to put it, really. Um, but I don't. It's not something from the past. I don't think this is something from like that internet thing, like the connection to the what was coming. Um, so I'm not sure I emphasize this enough, but the thing about that though, and like things that come up that could be potentially future events, is that we don't want to assume that they're set in stone. So if somebody says is will this happen if I do this, uh you know I really try to emphasize that the energy right now might be more than likely the outcome is going to be this right now, but there's so many factors that could change that. Don't throw your thought process out the window because of that. That's why I think maybe I'm sorry, there's like a fly here. That yeah, she sees it too. When we talk about like, I think I mentioned in my red flags video that wasn't too long ago. I've mentioned it before too. Like we don't want to hang on to that this is set in stone. You know, the animal communicator said this, so this is how it is. Don't throw your thought process out the window. Um, it's just that this is the insight we're getting. This is the information we're being given at this time. But use your own logic, use your own mind to discern if this is the road you want to go down on based on this information. Do you want to take it or leave it? Do you find that it was helpful? So, if you want more in detail about that kind of thing and like, you know, when the person even is right for you as far as the connection that you have, and that can affect things too, you know, check out that however many flags I said for hiring an animal communicator. I've had a couple of those videos. That one was more of like a warning type of thing, like these are things to be cautious of, but it helps you to understand what is the good things that you should be aware of, so you know that it's the right animal communicator for you. So then Carol says, except that she described it to you perfectly regarding quills. I think we were connecting in, Angel and I, and she was really you know, somehow that information was coming in, whether, you know, it was from her figuring out or sensing what was coming, or me picking up on what was coming. I don't think we totally know, you know, some of that stuff I don't claim to know. Maybe some people do know, but I don't think I always know. I don't claim to. So you said regarding quills, I pulled one out from her nose yesterday. Ooh, she had another one. Oh, you didn't even know because like there were so many. Oh no. Oh, poor doggy. Oh, well, thank you, Carol. I appreciate what you know, your support. As far as our, you know, the work I did with her or the conversation I had with Angel. So I do appreciate that. And thank you for posting those links, Melmac. I really appreciate it. So I don't know where Pam went. I think she's kind of confused. She's not. I can see, I think she's commenting on other shows. I'm like getting these things like, yeah, I think she's not used to using YouTube because I think she's trying to find me. Go to the live now and go into the chat. Okay. Hopefully she'll find us, and I will go to Lincoln. Bring up Lincoln. There's Lincoln. Okay. And so her question was, apparently Lincoln is having some problems with using the bathroom, I think. Let me see. Double check this. She sent it an email. Okay. I cannot get, I should have brought this up. I wanted to start doing that. I've been doing a lot with this class, like getting information out there, and I didn't have a chance. I wanted to start showing you what people were sending me. So I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to do that, but I cannot get, I'm glad this is interesting because Gia is very distracting. She is distracting. She takes up a lot of space, literally and figuratively, like space in the room. Like she's a presence. She's very large, and you can't really see it in these videos, I don't think, because she's like curled up in this thing, but she's got a lot of attitude, let's just say. I cannot get Lincoln to go number 2 in the yard. He poops on, goes to the bathroom on pee pads, but not in yard ever. He goes on pee pads, but not in yard. Okay, so he goes in the house, but not in the yard. He will come inside and go to pads and, oh yeah, go outside. This happens to a lot of people. This is not that uncommon, actually, especially with little dogs. I show him to go on the pad, then tell him to go in the yard, take him or have him follow me with the number 2 and place on the ground, telling him to do it in the yard. Show it in the yard, but the next time he has to go, he goes in the pee pad, which is good, but I want him to go in the yard. He pees in the yard. It just, as I'm talking, it's coming. I mean, I can tell what this is. Yeah. He looks very, unnervous, unsure when she tells him that he's doing the wrong thing. Isn't hit or yelled at, but tends, as I call it, act squirrely. I do not why there's like fur on my face. I can't. Lincoln, come here. We need to talk, and I let him come to me usually. Also, if you're watching this and you want me to talk to your pet, don't send me a lot of information. I don't like to have a ton of information ahead of time. Just kind of give me the simple question, just because I don't want it to impact what I'm getting. I don't want it to seem like I'm, I don't want to get influenced by it, and I don't want it to seem like I'm getting information ahead of time. There's enough doubters out there. Not that I'm here to or want to make people not doubt, but I sort of do in a way. Like, I don't depend on that. That's not why I do the show. But at the same time, I do want to educate people that this is a real thing. So I don't want people to come on, be here like, oh no, she got that information from the person. So I think this is on a tilt right now too. It looks like she's gonna fall off. She's not really, but it does look a little. Well, she's fine. Sitting kitty. Okay. All right. So Lincoln. As I was talking to Lincoln, just to tell you, the initial feeling I get is insecurity, which is often what it is. I get this real insecurity about her number 2. It's instinctual. This happens a lot. They feel like another animal, this is just their instinct, is going to come and get them, basically. They leave that, and it's a sign to another animal that's, makes them vulnerable. The Leaning Tower of Gia. Yeah, that's it. No backstory, Melmac. That's a good way to put it. I see what else though, like on a personal level, what would help Lincoln as an individual? How is this affecting Lincoln, and what would help him? So a word that's coming up is protection, and I'm seeing Pam, or who I think is Pam, the person who asked about this, who's lost out here in YouTube world trying to find us. It's like Lincoln showing me the ideal, and the ideal is him going outside, and I see her like back covering Lincoln like a tent or something, like it's like a symbolic kind of a thing. Like Lincoln wants to feel like he's completely protected from anyone knowing that he's gone to the bathroom. And then I see her picking it up. So that would be one thing. I don't know if this is like a yard situation. I think she said it's a yard. If it's a thing where she ever leaves it, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like it when his number 2 is left. I'm so sorry. I keep laughing because I saw this clip today of, for anyone that watched the whole like Amber Heard trial, I was sucked in pretty bad. And I saw a clip of her, the thing, I think in England, the first thing, the deposition she did, and she couldn't say, they kept telling her, like even her own lawyer and everything, they were like, she kept saying the S word instead of poo, which, you know, even that on the internet, I don't know, number two is probably a little bit better. But it was interesting because she just couldn't, she kept saying it and she kept like, they kept like stop, you see like her lawyer touch her shoulder, like stop saying that, and she keeps correcting herself. I just thought it was interesting, kind of like for somebody that's presenting all the time like a certain way that she couldn't, it just sort of exposed something about her to me. I don't know, it's just, I digress. I have like the psychology background and I kind of go down that road. So anyway, so maybe Lincoln does not want to go number two in the yeah, for privacy reasons. Exactly, that's exactly what it is. Find a corner shrub or something. Yeah, well that might help too, like if they could excuse me, find somewhere to sort of do it hidden. If she has a tree or a shrub, that's a good idea. Melmac, good idea. This is so nice to have people kind of coming up with different solutions. This is like, I need you guys when I'm doing sessions because you could just pop in with things I'm not thinking of. It's technically comes from the animal, but then sometimes the animals don't know either. Like they don't, you know, they have an idea or a sense of what they need or want, but you can't, you know, they don't, like sometimes that'll happen with certain essential oils and things will come up, and it's not really coming from them necessarily because they don't necessarily know what, you know, lavender essential oil is. Not not tre elegante, I don't know how to say that, of amber after 18 years of French. I can't say that. I took a lot of French and it didn't stick. My best friend was also French Canadian. She still the other day was like, I watched a video that she did for her company and I was like, I didn't even know what you're saying, but like this and that. And she's like, all that French just didn't like didn't sink in. Yeah, not elegant. Interesting, right? So, but stay with until she does too. Yeah, that's definitely coming up. And that's a good point. I'm saying that, but I'm not saying it. Yeah, it does show her with Lincoln the whole time. So, you know, and I want to say I'm not a trainer, and trainers might have another perspective on all this, but I'm not a trainer. This is coming from the dog. This is what, and so if the trainer has some reason that they think that these things could be, if you have a trainer or behaviorist and they're like, no, don't do that because our theory is this, well, take that into consideration, but also take into consideration what your animal is feeling. That's my point of view on that. More French. Like I know that word, but I get merde. What is that? I know what that is, but I can't. It's not. I can't find it in my memory bank. Hmm. Um. Anything else? I'm just seeing where like this came from too. If there's anything that happened that maybe energetically Lincoln needs to release or work on releasing. You know, it's funny because I keep seeing Pamela touching his like hindquarters, like touching his back, like tapping him. And so I wish she was here because I don't know what that means. I keep seeing, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, so I don't know if something happened. Um, oh, okay. She's pointing to it as I'm like seeing it again in my mind's eye. Okay, so it's like Lincoln's trying to show me that something happened and there's like an insecurity about the hindquarters. So I feel like something made Lincoln feel uncomfortable. Like something, another animal, I feel like did something that makes Lincoln feel insecure. Um, I think she said she tried to do that. She brought the number two outside, and then, and you're saying, and then the next time it's time to go outside, place a wee wee pad and place his own stool sample on it. Keep a sample when it's time to go outside. Place a wee wee pad outside, you mean? I'm wondering if that's what you mean. And place his own stool sample on it outside. I know she said she did something with that, but I don't want to. She'll see this, and know if that's something new. But thank you for the suggestion. Maybe she'll use that. I'm just going back into this feeling of like insecurity. I'm asking Lincoln if it's something that he feels like he could see like in a different way. That as long as someone's with him, nothing's going to happen. Maybe that will, if she keeps doing that, I don't know if she's going with him every single time, but maybe over time this will change if she does this. Sometimes it's just the repetition. The other thing I would definitely say, because a lot of these things, like these behaviors with the number two and the peeing, all the stuff with the like number twos and peeing and things like that, a lot of times these things require that there's repetition with communicating to the animal, both like in the world, like tangibly, physically, behaviorally, repeatedly what you want them to do, but then also I really feel like using animal communication to keep showing them what it is that you want the outcome to be. Because it's like these things are so embedded and they're so like on an instinctual level that you have to override that. They're animals too, they're operating on instinct, and their number one priority becomes staying alive, basically. So sometimes it just requires that we keep drilling it in, so use my free meditation on my website on intuitivetouchanimalcare.com and use that and communicate with your pets. Good Night Owl says, me thinks Mr. Lincoln thinks of himself more human than dog. Ergo, it's beneath him to go outside like the mere mortal doggies. That could be a part of it too, for sure. I could be. I do feel like it's kind of like, why is coming up for me. Like, why is it necessary? I'm getting crazy here. To do that. What is the reason? I'm successfully going on the wee wee pad. So what's the big deal? And I don't know her. I mean, I think I can assume she just doesn't, for obvious reasons, but I don't know her passion behind it. It would probably help for him to hear it from her. That's why, like, I like the dialogue of animal communication with the person, because they can really pick up on what the person's clearly. Because, like, when you get into that dynamic at home sometimes with an animal and you're not, like, doing it as a sit down, like, animal communication is almost to me like a counseling session. So if it's just you're irritated and they know it, and they know technically why, there's like negative energy in that, and it's not always clear, and there's emotion, heightened emotion, and there's layers to it. So that's why it's nice to be able to have like a dialogue with the person involved in that energetic process and connection and communication. I do feel like he feels vulnerable, and I feel like something, like what I was saying before, I feel like something happened, but I don't know. It feels like the animal would be, see if I can tell how old is Lincoln? I'm not sure if I remember that. Let me see if I have it here. 1 year old. He's only one. So he's still young. He still has time to learn, but I understand wanting to make sure you get out of any habits now, any bad habits now. But he's still young. Like, I don't feel like this is a wild animal that hurt him, but I'm. It's a little unclear because it comes from the back and it looks very quick. I feel like it's probably another dog though. That what I'm seeing, and I don't necessarily feel like this was like an attack or like something horrid. It just feels like to an animal, the wrong place, the wrong time, the wrong age, vulnerability, something like that can really set them on a course with something that, if it doesn't get processed out, which sometimes we can do. Yeah, he's just a baby. Yeah. Let's see if anything. Poor Pam. I don't know. She's having trouble with this whole YouTube world. That she can't find us. I feel so bad. She's like out. It's so funny because she's out there like going back to comments on the old episode and trying to reach me. She just doesn't know how to use it. I guess I feel really bad. But she'll see this and hopefully it'll be helpful. Let me just see if there's anything else. Um, he says I want to make it work, but I'm confused. Like I really think that he's he's he feels like what's wrong with what I'm doing. He's struggling with that. I do have her email, and I think she'll find us too. I'll let her know to come back here and look for it. Um, yeah, owls and hawks can do that too. It is scary. You really have to be careful. And welcome, Cheryl. Thank you for finding me, us. Welcome, and that's very cool that you communicate. Um, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. um, if so, email your invitation. Not sure I follow. Oh, you mean send her the link? I got you. Not really sure there's much by the time she gets it and everything. I think it might, unless there's someone else out there who has anything they want to ask me. Um, I don't think she's gonna get it in time because I don't even know if she's like checking her email or anything like that. I don't know. Send it, but it gets a little complex at that point. Um, So you had a German Shepherd. Good night, all of that. Oh, you got her 8 weeks. Oh, how cute. Must have been. And it seems like she was potty trained within a month. It's as if she came with built-in instructions. That's great. We didn't have to train our German Shepherd. He came with that, which is nice. I did have to train my other dog, though. And I lived on a second floor. And it was kind of like a third floor, like to get out. And oh my gosh, I got her in September. She was not potty trained, and she had a hard time with potty training. And I had to carry her sometimes to get out of the building, and it was like the worst winter we had here. And oh my gosh, it was really tough. We got through it, but it was, gosh. Oh, her birthday's coming up. My Gracie's birthday is this month too. My cat Gracie, who you never see. You only see this one here. You have to be careful with like potty training because they really do, like, they internalize stuff. I remember, I don't know if I was in a class or what it was, but I was talking to the person I took classes with, the main person, and she said to me, be careful with that, with the potty training, like, because something with this dog. And I can see it now, like, she's so sensitive that if I had, I don't know, overreacted or, whatever, it could have really not been good with her. So you do have to be careful. So, well, that was my little spiel about, and my talk with Lincoln and Angel, unless there's anything else. That's pretty much it. So, I'm happy that everyone is, here tonight. It's good to see people, and I should be here next week. It is, a little bit crazy right now because I have this live recording coming up next, not this Saturday, but the next one. So, that would probably be the only reason, not God willing, whatever, that I wouldn't be here next week. But if you do have, anyone who's watching and you want me to communicate with your pet, just, there's instructions in the description, but basically, it's nice for me to have the heads up. It is nice to know, just that I'm going to be talking to someone's pet. But if you send me information, you can send a picture, or if you're going to be wanting to come on live, you can put your phone on your pet live, you and your pet, or just your pet, whatever. But if you send me information ahead of time, just send me very succinct, like, this is the name, age, and just the question about, like, or, this is a brief, like 1 sentence, 2 sentence about the situation and the question. Just not a lot of backstory, good way to put it. And thank you. Yes, please do hit the like button on your way out. I really appreciate it. And check out the class. The link is in the description. 50% off for the next week. So you really can't. And it also has breakdown where you can do 3 payments, 2 or 3 payments instead of 1. So made it really easy to access. I really wanted that. Thank you, Mel Mac. You're encouraging me to. Thank you. To talk a little bit more about that. It's got 14 modules. So it's a lot. It's we're going from the basics, like everything, all the senses that you use to communicate with animals. I have 5 tools for communicating with animals using all those senses, and acupressure points to go along with all those senses that I'll be showing you a video of me doing, for each of those senses with animals, and to do for yourself to really get you grounded and sort of in your body, for lack of a better way to put it. And, I went back and put information about the why of some of these things too. Like there's some information about studies on acupressure and mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy that I used to work with, just drew from that. And imagery, I used imagery for success and why that works, because that's really important to me. Maybe it's not important to everybody, but you can always skip that stuff if you don't want it. But I think it's important to understand why things work in order to really integrate them. That's kind of like how my brain works, and I feel like it's helpful to a lot of people, so I put it in there. And then some history stuff about acupressure, and what else? 2 downloadable meditations. Everything's downloadable. Or you can also just like watch the replay through on the Podia website for as long as I keep it there. I just, I like that you can download it, because then if one day I don't have it up there, then you have it. And then you can also watch it whenever you want to. You don't have to go on their site. So, and the meditations, that's good too, because then you can just use those whenever you want to practice communicating with animals. And then that course is also available for, we're figuring out, waiting till the last minute to figure out the, how many credits, but for people who, like me, have a acupressure massage certification through the National Board of Animal Massage and Acupressure, there will be available credits for that, continuing ed credits. And this course will qualify you to go on to the second level with my school, the Animal Intuitive Academy. And then if you want the third level, and you can become a professional animal communicator. So there's a lot in there. There's charts you can download, meridian charts. So it's got a lot in there. So and I'm trying to keep it at a price that I wanted to make something available that was more accessible to more people in that price point range. And it's, as I said, you can also break the payment up. So lots of things. Oh, good. So you watched a video on the acupressure points for your kitties vomiting. Oh, good. You know what, Cheryl? Actually, we've had a little kitty vomiting thing for the past few weeks. Some of it is the change of season. The hairballs. That's what's going on for a lot of cats. So, I wish I could think of the name of it. We found like a no petroleum hairball thing on Amazon that we've been giving my cat more regularly. Like normally she might have a hairball like once or twice a month, but she's been having more lately. And I think it's because it was so hot, and now we're going into the fall, and that's a change of season, and they're shedding. So I also caught her like she's bathing the dogs, so that's not good. The German Shepherd, like that coarse hair. So we've been giving her the hairball medicine more to help with that. So that might be part of what's going on with your kitty cat too. I don't know, but just a thought. Let me see if there's anything I missed here. I just accidentally went all to the beginning of chat, and now I'm trying to go back to the bottom. Okay. Yeah, go through the library. There's acupressure video for fall in traditional Chinese medicine. There's the elements for the different seasons. So we're going into the metal element. So that's what my cat Gracie is. And it's interesting because, when their season is coming up, or they're in their season of whatever their element is, things that are a problem for them can get to be worse. There are certain things that are strengths from associating with that element for some animals, but then sometimes things that are weaknesses get worse during that time. So we've also been brushing her more. That's the other thing. So Well, I appreciate everyone, and I want to thank again, Mel Mac. Thank you so much for moderating. I really appreciate that so much. It's very helpful to me. It's amazing. I never had a mod until the past like couple months, so it's really nice to have the support and help. Um, oh yeah, the mushroom video. That was really that I've been giving my dogs the mushrooms that I switched over to the ones that the real mushrooms that the Dr. Silver and Joni, the two people in the show, and then I became an affiliate because I really believe in that brand. Um, so go check out that video because those are mushrooms are really becoming. There's so much information coming out about how helpful those can be for animals. The cats sometimes will eat mushrooms, sometimes they won't. The medicinal mushrooms, meaning like the powdered. Kitty cats are tough. Sometimes it can be a challenge getting them to eat supplements, but we try. So Gia will eat pretty much anything. So as you can imagine. So I just want to hope everyone has a great weekend, and I hope to see everyone soon, and maybe in the class for the live recording. So thank you everyone, and have a wonderful evening. God bless.